I made my family disappear. I hope I never see any of you jerks again. Kevin! Mom!
Look what you did, you little jerk.
I made my family disappear.
There's a particular triumph to be the man of the house. But what if you remember that you're just a kid, home alone? Psychologist Jean Piaget was a pioneer behind the study of cognitive development, believing that 4 stages assemble a general understanding of early adolescence. The first period is the sensory motor stage. This is a time when children start to develop a sense of the world and the causes and effects of certain actions. The second is pre-operational, in which the child begins to develop symbolic thought and language. The third is concrete operational. This is when the child begins to think in more logical terms. The final stage is formal operational, indicating that they're not only able to use their logical reasoning to solve problems, but also comprehend abstract ideas. As an 8-year-old, Kevin McCallister from Home Alone enters the concrete operational stage. But at any stage, being a family comes with a sense of responsibility, especially when facing 3 different rooms. Room 1. Family dysfunction.
I wish they would all just disappear.
The signs of having a good family come from many places. A couple of them include the openness toward communication, which was not very showcased during those first scenes. It's either a mixture of bullying, passiveness, or living the hectic nature of being a family of 15 people. Another is shared family values. A commitment toward their education, having a sport they all enjoy, or even sitting down for dinner. You can see how in the very beginning, Kevin and his siblings can't take a breath to consider each other's feelings.
Listen, Kevin, what are you so worried about? You know Mom's gonna pack your stuff anyway. You're what the French call les incompétents.
The film expertly portrays a psychological term called family scapegoating. In therapy circles, this term is defined as the identified patient. This is when your family consistently blames you because they do not want to take control of their own actions. It alienates the individual, leading them to believe they are lesser than, and in turn, the odd one out. When Kevin and his mother have the famous conversation before he's home alone, both of their responses warrant conflicting messages. Kevin is clearly lashing out because he feels like an outsider.
Everyone in this family hates me.
Whereas his mom has had enough of his behavior that she ultimately says,
"Then maybe you should ask Santa for a new family."
While her perspective shows a distant, cold mother, it's clear that she has had a lot on her plate. So while we can give her some grace, it doesn't mean that she should treat Kevin that way on a regular basis. In a perfect world, she would have considered his feelings of being othered and instead sat down to talk to him, saying something like,
"I truly understand how you are feeling right now. Just be thankful for the blessings you have. Be grateful for your family, because they are so precious."
Which goes to show that when supporting a family, especially as a mother, sometimes your emotions slip through the cracks. So much so that when your kid is initially home alone, he's not pleading for forgiveness or hiding under his bed. He's celebrating, cheering for the endless freedom of having the whole house to himself.
What do you mean?
Guys, I'm eating junk and watching rubbish. You better come out and stop me.
And what's so funny is that if I ask an 8-year-old what they would do if they were home alone, they would say,
"I'd be very scared at first, but then I would call the police and tell them to bring me to my friends."
Room 2. Family dynamics.
I didn't mean it. I'll never be a pain in the butt again. I promise.
Many define family in terms of their relatives. In contrast, others may not be blood related. The way we are raised can primarily determine how we behave. Kevin is clearly mimicking his family's actions at the concrete operational stage, often taking the most negative aspects rather than the positive ones. Clinical and developmental psychologist Diana Bowerman describes 3 main parenting styles a child may encounter. The first being authoritarian, in which a child experiences a daily dictatorship in their household. They may have no say about what they'd like to eat, where they want to go, or even their future aspirations. It's my way or the highway, a parent might conclude after an argument. The second, however, is being authoritative, which is the healthy balance between being kind and assertive with your child and allowing them to trust their own convictions by teaching them how to navigate this complex world. And the third one is being permissive, which comes in two parts: being indulgent, which is when the parents let the child get away with any trouble they cause, or being indifferent, which causes the child to feel invisible and therefore fighting for themselves. When discussing Home Alone, I'm thankful to say that there isn't much authoritarian parenting in the film, but still, at the beginning of the film, we see many permissive parenting styles, ranging from indulgence to indifference. When it comes to indulgence, Buzz, a teenager, is let off the hook when he provoked Kevin, a child who doesn't know any better. And when it comes to indifference, Kevin is repeatedly treated as a mistake by his siblings.
Don't you know how to knock, phlegmwad? Kevin, you're such a disease.
Siblings like Buzz not only treat Kevin very poorly, but also feed him stories that present a morbid and false perspective of people like Old Man Marley. A man who should honestly stop staring the way he does because, in truth, he was the right person Kevin needed during these very hard times. With a number of people in the McCallister family, you are bound to have a runt in the litter, or psychologically speaking, a family scapegoat. And while a lot of it doesn't seem realistic, I bet that Kevin gathered all of his scheming tactics at the end of the film by simply observing. And as an identified patient, you can be blamed too often to inevitably see yourself as the man of the house. Room 3. Family together. The love between a mother and son is precious. So precious, in fact, that it is the foundation for building resilience and emotional health in our children. Being a mother comes with the ability to build the social, emotional, and intellectual pillars that your child can build upon. It's the ability to withstand the trials and tribulations of raising a kid with good manners and to continue raising them when times are difficult. Research suggests that mothers are the only caretakers who can help their boys build healthy relationships rather than engage in risky behaviors.
You know, it's kind of this great fantasy. You know, the kid gets one over on the adults, you know? And I think that's why it kind of has this timeless kind of thing, because everyone has kind of felt that way, you know, even, harkens back to when you were a child and how you did that.
And as we see Kevin grow from a kid who felt rewarded by his family's disappearance to one who misses them, we as an audience can feel that too. As much as you can embrace the tides of having no one behind your back, sometimes that's all you need. For instance, since every family is out for the holidays, Old Man Marley and Kevin shared a unique similarity during church. They both felt like being alone was the right thing to do, but eventually they realized how holding resentments is never worth the grief and loneliness.
How you feel about your family is a complicated thing. Deep down, you always love them. But you can forget that you love them. And you can hurt them and they can hurt you.
And if I were to ask an 8-year-old what they would do if their family were brought back, they would say,
I'd be sad that Buzz came back.
But they would also say,
I'm so happy to not be lonely anymore.
Whether biologically or socially, families can leave a mark on this world as each passing generation moves along the centuries to come. But outside of creating a bloodline, raising them to become the best version of themselves, devoid of malicious intent, and with an ambition to build better futures and an interest to serve others, including their family, should always ring true. So why not stay home together and try to figure it out?